Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. To my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. If you are new on this channel, please kindly do well to subscribe to my channel, and I'll teach you how I made this top. And this is what the back looks like. It's a very simple top to make. So without wasting much of our time, let us get right into the video. So I'll place my fabric on fold of 2, and I'll mark my starting point just like this. As you can see, I've marked it like this, and it's next thing I'm going to do is to mark the I'm going to mark my waistline. The waistline I'm working with is 20 inches. I'll mark it like this, and I'll mark the hemline, which is 24 inches. Then I'll mark 24 inches, and I'll add 1 inch for hem allowance. So please, this is the back that we are working on first. Now after marking that, the next thing I'm going to do is to get a straight line. I've gotten it, and the next thing I'll do now is to mark the shoulder line. So the shoulder I'm working with is 8.5 inches. After dividing it by 2, then I will add the extension of 7 inches. I will add 7 inches extension. You can add whatever you want to add. Then I'll mark it like so. Then after doing that, I'll mark 3 inches for the neckline. You can mark whatever you wish here, even if it's 3.5. So I mark 3 inches, and I'm going to mark my shoulder slope of 1.5 inches. I'll mark it like so, and I'm going to connect it to the neckline, just as you can see me doing. So after doing that, now the next thing I'm going to do is to come here. Please ignore this line that I have already. From this shoulder slope, I'll come down by 11 inches to mark my bust point. I hope you understand. So that will be my armhole line and my bust point. So I'll mark the 11 inches right here. Then I'll connect the lines just as you can see me doing. After doing that, please ignore this very line here. So just connect it like so from the shoulder slope right to this part here. Ignore this line. That was a mistake. So after doing that, now the next thing I'm going to do is to come here and mark my bust round. The bust round I'm working with is 11.5 inches. I'll mark it like so, and I'll add 2 inches allowance for ease. You can add 1 inch, it depends on whatever you want. I'll come to the waistline. I'll mark my waist measurement here. I'll mark the 2 inches, and then I decided to add ½ inch. You can do whatever you like. I just decided to add ½ inch here because I want it to be a little bit free on the waistline. So whatever I have on this bust line, which is what I want, I'll mark it on the hip line. Mark your own hip measurement on this hip line here. Then I'll connect it just as you can see me doing. So I'll connect it like this, and after connecting it, I'll come here. Then I'll just take my tape and come down here by 2.5 inches. Then I'll mark it here and make a curve around here into the 2.5 inches. So after marking that, the next thing I'm going to do is to come up here by 1 inch and make a curve so that I will not have a sharp edge around this hem line. I hope you understand. Then after doing that, now we are going to mark the neckline of 1 inch. I'll mark it right here, and I'm going to connect it just like so. I hope you understand. So after doing that, now we are done with the back. So we are going to cut it out and add our allowance. So here I've added my 1 inch allowance to the hemline, even though I later reduced it. And here I have my 1 inch allowance right here. I'm going to also have 1 inch allowance right here for turning. Then I have ½ inch here for joining to the other parts, and I have ½ inch here for the neckline. I hope you understand. So now I'll bring another fabric here for the front neckline. So I have 3.5 inches here because I'll be using ½ inch to turn. So you can add 1 inch if you want to pipe it. So I'm using bias, that's why I have 3.5 inch. If you want to fold it in, you can add 4 inches. So I'll come from this neckline here. You can see I have my starting points already on this part here. Mark your starting point. Do not mark it from the neckline, just mark your starting point from this part here. Then after doing that, now you can see what I have. I'll come down here by 4 inches. You can decide to come down by 5, it depends on what you want. So I marked 4 inches and I'm going to connect it to this line here. I'm going to connect it from this line here. You can see what I have. So I connected to the wrong place initially, so I'm going to correct it now. So I'll connect it to the midpoint of the front part. I hope you understand. So connect it to the midpoint of the front part and start from the you can see what I'm talking about. So just connect it to this side here, and after doing that, now what I'm going to do is to come here and get the neckline of the front. I will extend this armhole line, which is my bust line. I will extend it right here. So I have 13 inches there. Then I'm going to come up by 3 inches, which is where I want my neckline, my front neckline to start from. I hope you understand. So I'll just connect it from the neckline right here. Then I'll connect to this 13 inches here. Make sure that you mark this so that you can have the same part, the same neckline on the front and back. So I'm going to just connect it like so and mark it to the 13 inches with my V shape neckline like this. Then after doing that, now what I'm going to do is to just cut it out. So we are done cutting out, and this is what I have. You can see that we have the same thing. The neckline are matching perfectly, and on the side we have the same thing on the shoulder, the sleeve, the side, and the hem. You can see this allowance here, it is matching perfectly. Do not start shaping from the allowance, start shaping from the normal measurement. I hope you understand. So I have my half-inch allowance around neck, so I'm going to use that to turn it in. And what I'm going to do next is to open up the front bodice. I hope you understand. So after doing that, now what I'm going to do is to place one part of the front, and I'm going to measure 2.5 inches like this. This is one piece of the front part. Then I'm going to connect it. I'm going to mark my 1 inch allowance right here. Then I'm going to start connecting from here right to that place. So I hope you understand. So you can decide to just shape it out here, but I want mine to be straight. That is why I have it like that. So I'm just going to connect like that. I'm going to cut it out. I hope you find this helpful. Please kindly give my video a thumbs up. So I'll place the front on the back piece like so. Then I'm going to just match it together and run a stitch of 1/2 inch through the shoulder line like this, and I'll repeat the same thing for the other side. Then I'll come to this opening here, and I'll use my bias tape to turn it all around through the neckline and like this, and I'm going to come to the other part this way up to this point here. If you want to make use of lining, you can just cut your lining and use your lining to turn it all around. So I'm just going to use my bias tape to turn that part. And here is what I have after I was done. Even though I decided to use my bias tape to turn the hemline, like so, and you can see the sleeve, I've folded it in. So I used my bias tape to turn the hemline for the front and the back. So what I'm going to do now is to match this side here. Then I'm going to come with my belt. My belt, I have about 2.5 inches width, and the length is about 30 inches. I have shaped the edges as you can see. Then I'm just going to leave this part here. Then I will join from this side here. Then after joining it, I'm going to just turn it. I hope you understand. So once I turn it to the right side, then I'm going to place it on the waist like this. So I later come up by 2 inches from the waistline before placing my belt. So if you want yours to be on the waistline, you can just place it like that. Then I'm just going to run a 1 inch stitch right here, which is my allowance. I hope you understand. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side here, like so. I hope you understand. So this is what I have after I was done. You can see the belt is looking all nice. It's actually a very simple top to make, a very simple tutorial and a very simple top to make. So after doing that now, what I'm going to do now is just to come here to the opening right here. Then I'm just going to come here to the where we have this curve, where the curve is starting from. I'll just mark there, and I'll put my button on this part. Then I'll measure 5 inches. I'll measure 5 inches. Then I'll put another button on this part. Then I'll measure another 5 inches. So I'll be having about 3 buttons on this part here. So if you want to make use of your brooch, you can just mark this part here and fix your brush around there. So we have come to the end of this tutorial, and if you find this video helpful, kindly give my video a thumbs up and turn on your post notification so you can get notified whenever I will upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye.